Babette and her neck snap.
You know, I was trying to think. I was like, this kitchen party, will I change it up and do like, because I realized last week I was just sitting there. I was like, twiddling my thumbs going, oh, we'll wait for the video. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot. I'm still on screen. And then I saw Jeff partying, and I was like, wait a minute.
You got to bring the party to the kitchen party. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Hello, everyone who's watching on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, BakeSpace.com. Hello. Welcome to Kitchen Party. We meet every single Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, to bring some of our favorite people in the culinary world together so that they can talk to you. And today's topic is videos, doing demos and recipe demos. And I've seen so many people on Google+, you know, just really embracing at-home cooks, bloggers, anyone who's passionate about food making their own videos. So I thought this would be a great topic. So first, before we go to our guests, let's introduce everyone. So once again, I'm Babette Pepaj. I'm the founder and CEO of BakeSpace.com. Jeff, you want to go next?
I am Jeff Houck. I'm the food writer for the Tampa Tribune and blogger at tbo.com. I am not the CEO of BakeSpace. Rene.
I'd lose my job.
I am not the CEO of BakeSpace either. I'm Rene Lynch. I'm a writer and editor with the LA Times, and I write across a number of sections, including food and health.
And our guest this evening is Andrea Metcalf. Now, Andrea, did we meet at Rancho La Puerta the first time?
We did meet at Rancho La Puerta Spa. Exactly.
I feel like we've known each other for a lifetime, so I'm surprised that it was like 2010. It's only been a couple of years. Andrea and I were all invited to this amazing spa in Mexico. It's in like a war zone, like the poorest city in Mexico, and then they have this beautiful resort that is just gorgeous. And I think we spent a week there, and I regret actually opening my laptop. I regret bringing a laptop at all, and I wish I would have just like absorbed the beauty and just done yoga every day and not worried about anything in the tech world. But of course, you know, we learn, and then now I'm like, I wish I could go back there. So Andrea Metcalf is a spokesperson. She's probably the closest thing I know to somebody who every single day works with brands, does videos, recipe development, recipe videos. And so I thought when we started thinking about this topic, who could we call? And Andrea was like the first person I thought of. So Andrea, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and sort of a background, and where are you logging in from?
I am logging in from the beautiful city of Chicago. You can kind of see the backdrop behind me. If I really push my camera out, I'm right by the Trump Tower, Tribune, and Wrigley Building.
You look like the front credits of the LA Law series.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Here, let me get out of the way just to see it. I don't know.
Very nice.
I don't want to unplug my computer again when I was trying to line up today so I could have a pretty background. But yeah, we met at Rancho La Puerta Spa. I left there a few days early, so I didn't even stay the whole time, and have been chatting and seeing each other ever since. I consider myself a healthy lifestyle person. Cheers to everybody who's having a little Thursday indulgence. There we go.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a little Prosecco, just, you know, a little Mio Netto. I think this was one of those top finds that I saw in one of those food blogging spaces. So it's good. It's just
Jeff,
light.
Rene, are you guys indulging this evening?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Rene,
I have my Duck Dynasty champagne glass with a little bit of Moscato in it, a little Moscato. Bring a little class to the joint with my Stubbs barbecue hat. Hello.
Rene, you had a tiny glass.
I'm also bringing up the classy with my shot glass full of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
Word.
I have Macallan on the rocks, and I think I actually poured myself a little too much.
No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing.
So we will see how progressively intoxicated I get through the kitchen party. But
I'm loving that you brought the whole mason jar to the party.
I was like, which glass should I use? And I'm like, oh, this is the kitchen party. This is the kitchen party glass. So anyone at home who's drinking with us, go get your mason jar, fill it up with something delicious, and party along with us all night long.
That's right. Cheers, everybody.
Woo, cheers.
TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday. Okay.
So, Andrea, are you from Chicago originally?
this is the only town I've lived in. You know, I'd love to say that I lived all over the world, but I haven't. I am really a health and fitness expert that knows how to still live and not just eat tofu and greens, as you know, Babette. And I do a number of different things. I have a book called Naked Fitness, and it does include wine. So I don't think there's anything that you can't have in moderation. And I produce and do a lot of food and cooking videos, and I've learned the hard way when things really fall apart. So I thought I'd share my my mistakes with some of you and hopefully make your videos better.
How did you get into the video development?
Well, I started, again, in health and fitness and then started reaching out, and I decided after doing the NBC Chicago for many years and doing the Today Show as well, that I could produce a television show. I took a little weekend class, and they told me that if you just got sponsors and bought airtime, that someone would put you on TV. So I created a show in Chicago called Living Healthy Chicago, and that's how I became the producer end of things. And of course, living healthy has to do with cooking, eating, moving, and of course the medical side of things. So I started doing that about 6 years ago, and I probably produced over 1,000 online video pieces since then. So, and 2 television shows.
Andrea, how did you, from a networking point of view, how did you get so well connected? I feel like I'm on Twitter and I see you everywhere. You're quoted everywhere. You were just absolutely nonstop. And I'm surprised to hear that you only started this 6 years ago. How did you build that empire?
Well, with just great networking with people online, I'll tell you, Twitter has been the most amazing thing for me. When you land in a city and you put out a tweet and then like 7 people tell you places to eat or somewhere to go, that's the most empowering thing. I mean, I was halfway around the world in Australia and I met 4 people through Twitter. That actually 2 of them I met face to face. So social media, when you reach out to people, they're there. And I learned from the rock stars of social media, from the Beth Rosens, from Jeanette Joy, Gail Goodwin, Julie Gallagher, Babette, Jaden Ayer with Steam in the Kitchen. So I was lucky enough to find myself at a health resort because I was blogging for Oprah.com at the time. And I mean, that's a whole other story in itself to tell you how I got that job.
Oops,
that's going to be my next question.
I'm sorry. I just name dropped. Excuse me. Oh.
Right.
You can
pick that up, Jeff. Could you
I was talking to Ashton Kutcher.
He's in your living room, I know.
Dude,
stop the presses. We want to hear the
I told you a million times, Ashton. Shut up. You won't shut up.
Now, Andrea, because you've been in this business so long, technology has changed significantly. Have you noticed that, like, it's so much easier now for just anyone to, like, pick up a camera or do a Google Hangout or...
I have, and there are some people out there that should not be on camera, I will say that. The production quality, stop kidding yourself or get some help. That's my blatant
nice knowing you, people.
Jeff, we've been meaning to tell you the bad news.
But there have been so many people who have been given the opportunity that are really great and have a great voice and a great presence, and kudos that it's coming through and it's shining through. And there's a lot of naturals out there too. So that's, you know, that's how I feel it's changed. And I mean, look at this. We have camera switching on a live streamed network out here on Google Hangouts. I love Google Hangouts. I've been doing them now. This is probably like my 7th one. I love it. I'm glad that you're doing this weekly, and I wish I can come back more often.
When you say someone's a natural, Andrea, what do you mean? What kind of qualities are you looking for when someone sort of takes to it and does it well?
Well, I do bring along some video clips. So even if you're not a natural, you could be coached. But what I find is people have scripts and then they read like they are still reading the script, and it doesn't come off that I feel like I know them, like I just started speaking. So that's really the biggest thing that I see that's not going well. They're too scripted. They don't let it fly off the cuff. They feel like they have to present and make over exaggerations, which you really don't online, on camera, on TV. Just be relaxed, be natural, and you'll probably do a lot better.
Hey guys, I want to let, because part of our show is not only like us in the show, but it's also the folks who are on Twitter, who are on YouTube, who are on Facebook, who are watching us. and who come by every single week. So we want to make sure we give a shout out to all of them. Let me just go through a little bit of the list, not some questions, but just to put a shout out to say hello, everyone. Mama Caruso 1 is watching. Gray-haired lady on Twitter. Jody Fritch is watching. Jody!
Hey,
In fact, Jody, I tried sending you an email today, and it came bounced back, so I got to get your right email address. Cake Walker is also tuned in. Thinking of UVA is like, it's kitchen party time. And then also, Jody Fritch is like, I got to go get myself some mason jars. Dessert Chick is in the house, and she wants to know, Jeff, is that moonshine? Obviously not, because we already answered that.
If it was, I wouldn't be upright. Let's put it that way.
All right, and then also Luna Home Team is also online as well.
Don't forget Sandy McKenna, Midlife Road Trip. That's my girl.
Sandy, we actually met at Rancho La Puerta as well.
Yeah.
And and actually that's when I met Jaden as well, Jeff, from Steamy Kitchen. The group of women, Sarah Evans, I mean, the list goes on of all the amazing women who were put together for like a short period of time that I think have been some of my greatest friends online and beyond, who I absolutely look up and to, I respect, and I think you guys are amazing. Oh, Sippity Sup. Oh, Greg Henry, he just tuned in as well, and he just retweeted some stuff. So
he still likes us after last week? That's awesome.
You know, it was so cute. I sent him an email with the link, and I was like, hey, here's the YouTube video. You want to check it out? Whatever. And he's like, oh, I've been holding myself. I've been thinking, like, do I want to watch myself? And I'm like, you did a great job.
Oh, yeah,
he did. He was awesome.
He was amazing. The personality, the kitchen. Andrea, if you would have seen his kitchen, you would have been blown away. It was super. Renee and I are trying to figure out like when we can sneak in. Oh, Jeff, we should have a hangout where he is with you, but you tell him he has to do the hangout somewhere else, so we know he's not home. And then Renee and I.
Then we'll break in. I'll pull his mask off, and Shaggy and Scooby will be there.
All right. Well, obviously that's not going to work because now we set it on video and it's going to be for everyone to know. Let's go through the presentation. So for everyone who's listening at home, you've come to watch a show about if you want to do kitchen demos, if you want to do recipe demos. Also, Andrea has a lot of experience in working with brands and understanding the importance of ingredients and being able to kind of work around those ingredients and make sure you know how to hold things. And if you have any questions, use our Twitter handle, KitchenParty, or put a message on our Google Plus event page and also our YouTube page. We are following and tracking those conversations. When in doubt, go to Twitter and use KitchenParty hashtag. Andrea, do we want to start with the first thing, with the prep or sweat?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is anyone who does a kitchen video, you'll find out that you need to get 2 sets of food. You can't just do it and keep going along with it. You're going to be much better if you have a finished product ready, flipping it out of the oven, because your camera time costs money, whether you're doing it yourself or you're hiring an intern, which are all good ways to save money. Go to the colleges around you, give them experience, get good quality, high-def video. So the prep or sweat thing is, you know, I've done videos where I thought I could just wing it, and not having stuff opened, not having stuff ready is definitely not the way to go. So are we seeing this video up on screen right now?
Yes, we should be.
Okay, so this is how to make food look better. So even if you can't afford a food stylist, olive oil and spritzing water makes it go a long way. So that was kind of, we were doing taco meat and pulling it out of the oven. I just wanted to show how olive oil made that look so significantly more fresh and like it just came out bubbling, even if it isn't. So olive oil and water is the way to spritz your food to make it look great. People get paid, I'm not kidding, almost $1,000 an hour to be food stylists. Yes. I've been on sets with some broadcast companies where we've had food stylists that made more money for the day than I did. I couldn't figure it out. I thought I was the talent. I wasn't. It was about the food. So I was like, oh my God, you're getting paid that much? Wow.
You know, I would think with meat too, that would be the hardest thing to make look good because it's like brown. I mean, the first thing that it's not that. How do you make steak look succulent, or how do you make it?
Oh, well, that's, you know, and I'll tell you, this is from a food stylist, is you don't really cook the steak all the way through. So just because you have it prepared for online viewing doesn't mean it's actually ready to eat. So searing the steak and bringing it right out and only having it in there for about a minute or two is the best way to make those look great.
And why is that? Because it doesn't like kind of start to shrivel up on itself, or what?
Well, because then it doesn't continue to cook, and then the color changes. Oh. So you want it more raw, believe it or not, because then the color is really vibrant. So that's a little food to tip on the prepper sweat kind of thing. What other video do I have for you guys? Let's see. I'm going to ask our good director here to go to Yes to Open.
And also on Twitter, Stargazer, it's Star G-Z-E-R-E, is following up and also says, great food styling tips. Thank you, Andrea Metcalf. So if you guys are following at home, Andrea Metcalf is her Twitter handle, so you guys definitely want to follow that if you have any questions that we don't get to today for any reason.
Yes, Dessert Chic, you should be a food stylist. You'll make more money. I know I wanted that job at one point. But there, okay, so right here in this video, you're seeing me cut the tops off of the package. Well, after on the next one, I'll show you what happened to one of the gals. And there's a certain way you want to hold things to camera to be able to get that branding in. It's really important. Also, I don't know if you'll notice in my video right there that I have very on nude, neutral fingernail polish. And you'll see in another video that, let's go into the opening, when that video pops up there. Yeah, open, right. Oh, this is, okay, this one right here is, you can't fool around with trying to open caps and close caps when you're doing food video. Have everything open. My worst has been you open the cap and still there's that plastic thing on there, and then you're trying to take it off. And that's a lot live TV. I do a lot of live to tape. So if you're doing food videos, make sure everything's opened. If you're trying to get branded content, do not show labels. Try and use generic, but don't be blatant about it that you have things turned completely backwards and around, because then it looks awkward.
You know, Andrea, I produced reality television for like 13 years, and it's always funny when I see a show now where like the person's standing with their baseball cap on and there's like a piece of tape right around or a T-shirt with a piece of tape, because they are not classy. And the guys who actually are the girls who put that tape on, usually they're just like smack it on, because they, oh, no one will ever see that, and it's like right there. So I can imagine it's a similar situation when you see that.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jeff, Jeff, did you just take off your hat?
Yeah.
But wait, that was part of the conversation that went with your
There we go.
It works for you.
You know, and it's funny because it's funny you mention that, because whenever I see that happen, it's always for me a guessing game of what is that actual package, what is that brand. You know, it's like an online quiz or something.
And I love that it makes it more interesting then, because then you can tweet them and ask them, hey, was that this or was it that? Love it.
Yep.
So like in this case, you're seeing the labeling on the sugar, but not everything else is kind of discreetly turned away from the camera, correct?
Right. And again, cutting those packages open makes it a lot cleaner. Let's roll another tape. I'll tell you what it is. Not the green. Leave Green Goddess Smoothie to last. Okay, this is a clean way. Look, I'm holding that to camera, and although right there it looks really natural, but I still get the full branding in. When we go into one of the last videos, you'll see she doesn't hold it to camera at all, and the brand is going to be a little bit upset, or they're not going to be as happy if you're trying to do branded content. Branded content is where you're going to make a lot more money than just people looking at your videos. I mean, the CPM for a branded content is much better. Does everyone know what CPM?
No.
Am I speaking English?
No,
speaking English.
So many of you have your videos out there online, and you're getting for every 1,000 video views on YouTube, you're making probably about 35 cents. The industry rate that they sell that ad pre-roll at is between $15 and $25. So if you're getting a lot of views on YouTube, you want to start looking for a publishing network. You're going to make 8 to 10 times the money. So that CPM, how many times it plays per 1,000? On YouTube, it's about 35 cents. If Gangnam Style was on a real network, he would have made 100 or 10 times the amount of money than he made, and he still made a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
I think he made like $2 million.
Yeah, but
don't you think?
Say it again.
I think he made like $2 million on his views. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, but those were North Korean dollars, so.
So they're shot to hell.
Andrea, can you talk for a second about publishing? You mentioned publishing network and working with a brand. For the average blogger at home who may be like, "Well, I'd love to work with a brand." What explain some of that?
Well, if you're getting in a year's time over 100,000 views on YouTube of your videos, you need to start monetizing that through more than Google or Vimeo or any of the other offering sites. You need to figure out a network that you can be a part of. There's the Glam Network, there's iVillage, and these brands, there's womensforum.com, who I belong to. We are looking for people. We actually have a $10,000 blogger search going on right now in 10 different categories where you'll get a year contract. They are doing big distribution. I know we're all trying to make money. If you have great content and you have good numbers, you do have the possibility. Does that help answer your question a little bit, Renee? How do we get in touch with those brands? You've got to research to see what networks you like and have ad placement on it, and then reach out, contact us, and say, hey, check out my stuff. I like what you're doing. I want to be your partner.
And then the publishing networks would theoretically put you in touch with brands that want to see that connect with your show?
No, if you're on a publishing network, you're making money through the network. If you want to make money with brands, you're going to need distribution of probably around 500,000 to 1 million views. Let's say 100,000 views of your website per month in order to make money with a brand on branded content that way. I've made my living as being a spokesperson, as creating integrated campaigns, but I have really good distribution. So I have television. I'm on a show on Good Day Show on Tuesday mornings with the NPR. I'm on NBC in Chicago. I'm on national shows. So you have to have really good distribution to make money direct with the brand. I mean, significant money that you can actually make a living on. You know, $50 or $100 isn't going to make anybody happy. But if you're getting good views, go to a network. Become part of a publishing network.
You know, what about because we you know, as we're an online community, BakeSpace.com, and we get contacted by brands all the time, and also with Tech Munch we get contacted by brands. And I had worked with a publishing network before, and we did video series with Sabra hummus. And so I was basically cooking and doing recipes and blah, blah, blah. And of course I picked the easiest recipes ever. I was like, take this cucumber and scoop out the center and put some hummus in it. I was like, that's going to be very easy for me to cook. What about like when a brand reaches out to because a lot of food bloggers now are getting a ton of exposure, they're getting a ton of impressions, and they have the like trusted voice of the people. Like people really, you know, they listen to what they're talking about. They want to get their recipes. They want to make it. They trust that. When a brand reaches out to them, what should they show in terms of here's what I can do? Like, should they put together sort of a reel, or should they try to do some testing so that they have something and they're ready with video? So if a brand comes, they can say, oh, you want to put banners, but because they can make so much more money if they actually do recipe development and they actually do a video. Any advice for that?
You're right. And let's just go into kind of some of that pricing. A banner ad online with that CPM for every 1,000 hits is going to be anywhere between 10 cents and let's say under $1, where the CPM for a video ad pre-roll is going to be between $10 and $35. So you really do want to have video on your site. That's first and foremost. You've got to be doing video. It's not enough just to have a banner ad placement. I'm drinking champagne here. What was the question?
Hey, welcome to Kitchen Party.
Shannon. For anniversaries, occasions.
This is what we do. We get you lubricated, and then you tell us all the secrets.
That's right.
I'm like, oh no.
Hey, on Twitter, Real Tim Wilkins also tuned in and says, watching Kitchen Party, very cool, great job. Thank you for watching. And the folks are all retweeting us. Gray-haired lady is like on fire. Dessert chick Jody Fritsch, you are still here. We love it. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. We will go back to the questions and we will start answering them. So, Andrea, so if my blog is like a baking blog, like cupcakes or something like that, should my video content also match what my blog is, because that's how the brands are going to find me, or should I try to be a little bit more generic?
No, it should match. And you should remember that you've got to tag your videos and use SEO tricks the same way that you use your SEO and blogging tag words in your written word. Also keep in mind that if you're on YouTube, Google ranks you higher when you have YouTube videos out than when you're just a written word. So that's another reason to be able to use that video component. Let's go in. Can we go into the rest of the tips real quick, just so I can get them out of the way? We said prep or sweat. You know, you've got to do the work beforehand to really know what your recipe is. I want to tell everyone, spritz it pretty. That's with the water or the olive oil. Be open. That is the reminder to open things. Do I have that one crazy video, Open It Right, where she opens the sugar and it goes everywhere?
That would be me.
Okay, it's not that one. Let's see. Go to a different one. I know that one wasn't a funny one.
It's America's Funniest Sugar Opening Videos.
Oh man, she opens the box first. That's not it. I hope I sent it to you. Maybe it's the Green Goddess Smoothie. Let's go to that real quick. I'm telling you, olive oil works really well, though. Oh, and you know what? Don't forget, if you're shooting in your kitchen and you have a microwave behind you, that you don't see the reflection of the cameraman or anyone else watching, you can stop that glass, mirror, whatever, with spraying hairspray right onto the microwave. That'll take off the reflection.
What a great tip.
That is a great idea. That is. How do you light your kitchen? Like if you're doing something at home, like how would somebody else do that?
Well, I think you have to remember that light comes from behind and on top. So it's not just about turning on every single light in the kitchen, and certainly do not tape in front of a window. Close the blinds. Outside light will really make you look horrible on film. You'll look 20 years older. So make sure that you do not use natural light unless you're really outside. And it's better to shoot.
I'm going to go close the curtain, guys. Hang on.
It's better to shoot in the outside on a cloudy day than it is a sunny day too. Just those kind of fun things that we remember. So.
And if you can put Chicago behind you at night, it's even better.
Check that out.
What about LA? What about LA?
Apparently you're just populated by cupcakes, yeah.
See, this way I never have to worry when the light goes on. I'm always like, you see the Capitol Records building? There's our airport.
I know. I do like BakeSpace flying behind the plane. Is that a little trailer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
I'm sorry. I just was wondering, did you pick these up just by being on set, or was there someone you learned from? How did you first pick it up and avoid the mistakes?
I think you have to watch yourself on video to really know, which I hate watching myself on video or on TV, but you have to watch. And all these tips that I'm giving you, I picked up because I did it wrong. I made these mistakes myself. I think one of the other tips is, list it, but don't give it completely away. There's two theories here. If we're going to talk about ingredients during a food recipe video, if I speak in general terms, like I say we need celery, we need apples, on the video I can list the exact ingredient list as a lower third graphic, but I want them to read my blog as well. I want those articles to go against it so I get more page views. I want those read more tabs. So don't always give everything away right on the food video. I like to tell people, if you're doing it yourself, make them read your blog so they get the full recipe.
That's a great tip too.
So I just want you to get page views, and I want people to see what you're doing so you get credit for it, because it's really hard to make it in this business unless you've already been on TV and you have such an amazing following. I just look at the cookbooks sometimes that are out there, Babette, and I go, really? She wrote a cookbook? Are you kidding me? Because her grandmother told her how to do that recipe?
Hey, Andrea, I have a question for you. Say you're on YouTube and I make a video and I'm like, hey everyone, come check this out or whatever. What can I do on the video to have an action for people to go to our blog? Or do you have any advice for, is it like when you're doing the recipe, you say some of the ingredients and then you remind people, well, for the ingredients, and then should you make like a tiny URL or something get people to like go there.
Absolutely. I mean, those overlays are precious for driving traffic. And don't forget, you have to use your other social media channels, too, to drive it home. Everything from LinkedIn. Hey, guys, I have this great thing. It's TGIF Friday night. And here's a video I did for producing the best, Cosmo at home. So use those little pieces. Good idea.
I always forget. I'm always like, oh, and I see people's videos, and they're like, and they actually go, they're like, you should go here, and you can go here, and you can go here, and I'm like, oh my God, why are we not doing that? Why are we not putting links to, like, follow us on whatever and follow us here? I can make my cupcake move.
But I don't think you want to be over obnoxious either. Hey, do we have any of those screenshots of the still shots to throw up there? I think I sent you 2.
Yeah, I really like what you did there with your framing. How you actually...
So this picture right here, obviously we were working with monk fruit, if you haven't figured this out right now. This was the last shot before we went back up to the talent to tag out, so that we got the product and the idea of what we did together. And it only was on the screen for about 3 seconds. But that still shot still stayed in your mind afterwards. And plus, then you had this great thing for your blog graphic at the end. Do we have that other one, the crazy eye one? So this, the overreacting thing, remember we said talk about being yourself and be natural, Jeff. Nobody really should be looking at the drink when they're drinking it. So Stephanie got all excited, her eyebrows went up, and then she looked in at the drink. I mean, she made this crazy face. You kind of have to be aware of those things and don't overact it.
She wasn't trying to do that face at that moment?
No. When we showed her the video afterwards, you need to relax, because we were teaching her to be a talent for video. She didn't have any idea she did that. I said, well, when you overreact to things, another thing that she would do is when she'd open up the blender, she'd be like, oh, that smells delicious. Oh, that smells fresh. You would never open the blender and say to your friend, oh, that smells so fresh. Like it was an erotic smell or something. I don't know.
50 Shades of Nostrils, right?
Exactly. 50 Shades of Green Smoothies.
Hey, Dessert Chick says that she gets really grossed out by bright colored nails in the kitchen. She's
exactly.
like, oh, she mentions it like flicking off into the food. Actually, it's funny. I did for Sabra Hummus. I did 2 videos for them, and the first one, I did not cut my nails, and I'm one of those people who my nails grow like somebody one time during a panel said, oh, the one with the long fingernails. They grow like a lot, and. So the first thing I did, and then they sent me back, they're like, oh, we're going to do another round of videos. And the only note back was, can you make sure she cuts her nails?
Oh.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, shoot. And so now I try to keep them very, very, not short, but just primed. But I think that really helps a lot, because they can't cut around that when they're doing the close-ups on the food and your hands are cutting. And
Babette scissor hands.
No, they can't cut around that. You know what? Do we have the fresh mint video? This is a good little trick. Our news director, if you have any herbs that you end up needing to work with for the day, and if they're not quite fresh, put them back in the container and pour water in them. This is what it looked like after putting it in water for 10 minutes. This is what it looked like before. So just in 10 minutes, we were able to really refresh those herbs so they looked great for camera. That's just a fun little trick that someone taught me. And if you do have dried herbs, this is my own little cooking tip. If you're not going to use them, put them in paper towels that are wet, put them in the freezer. And although they may turn color, they still work really well to use that fresh additive for stews and spices or anything at the last minute.
Mm.
How do you hold products? Like, have you ever seen anyone's video and they're like, look at my thing? Or is there like a common sense thing where it's like?
I had a butter peanut butter backwards on bread because the hand angle was wrong. So you have to be aware of that it may not be always your most comfortable shot. Think about what it looks like in the mirror. Use your little flip cam and do it ahead of time, because definitely spreading stuff on bread with your opposite hand is it's really challenging. And you got to make it look natural.
I like that idea to maybe run through the video on your camera, on your cell phone camera or something, before you do the real thing to kind of catch all those little moments.
That's that prep or sweat kind of thing, Renee. Definitely. It's not just about the food. It's about you being comfortable with the product, which is why I showed you how to hold the monk fruit we were dipping into the blender. You need to hold it to camera. To just rip it open, I'm really bummed that we don't have that rip it open one. Do we have the Green Goddess smoothie video that we can pull out too? Because that one has kind of a lot of different things in there. When you're shooting food videos, even in iMovie, you can make very easy cuts. You don't have to have Final Cut Pro or something really advanced to make a great video. You can get those lower thirds in there in iMovie. You can get the transitions that look really nice. Babette,
hey, Andrea, just so you know, Melody said that she only has 5 videos and that she thinks possibly she didn't get the green one.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
You can totally tell us what it's about. I mean, you can, we can envision, and it'll be like really sugar.
You can mimic it.
Okay, so first they had the blender, and as she went to go turn it on, we then cut to the end of it, so you didn't actually have to see the blending for the 3 minutes. Nobody wants to just see blending. Then the next thing that she had done is she went to go put the garnishes in, and you want to be aware of how you're putting the garnish in and how your hands look on camera. She had on blue nail polish against a white drink, or a light green drink. So it looked, when we talked about the nail polish thing, Renee, it really does distract people when you have crazy fingers. And then the other part from that video is you'll get to see her face where her eyebrows went up. She looked at the camera, then she looked down at the drink and went cross-eyed, and then made actually, she was saying how good it tastes, but she made a frown when you saw it in slow motion, like, so you can't hide your true feelings when you are on camera that way.
So what happens if... Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jeff, sorry.
That was a 3-car pilot. What happens if you have hideous hands?
You have a hand model.
What if your face is made for video, but your hands are not? Use
okay,
tongs?
Jeff, is that you? Do you have something to tell us?
Here's my sandwich. If you have man hands, I mean, what happens?
I've got man hands, guys.
Well, I have man hands, but they came with the rest of me. But I mean, if you're a woman, you're not supposed to have man hands. What happens if you have man hands?
I'm saying it's really bad.
You need to have still clean, well-groomed hands, or you just have a hand stand-in or a hand job. I don't know.
A hand? I didn't say it.
Okay, who saw the Seinfeld?
Wait. Was that? Did you say hand employment? Is that what you were saying?
Yes, I was.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I love how Renee drinks on that. She's like, I'm going to take some of that.
I didn't say it.
Hey, I just want to say we got a really cute tweet from Real Tim Wilkins. He said, decisions, tweet or learn. So much great info on Kitchen Party. Woo!
We just spiked 1,000 viewers on Kitchen Party with that.
And that's Granella, or Gura Luna, not Granella. I don't know what's happening with me with my reading. There's a Kitchen Party in my, it's my McKinnon. There's a Kitchen Party in my mouth stopping me from attending the real one. And there's a link. I'm not clicking on it because I don't know if it's part of our kitchen party or someone. Don't click on it unless she verifies or he verifies that it is actually.
Does it say like there's a kitchen party in my? No. Okay.
I feel like they're eating something delicious, but I'll leave them go. Andrew, when I noticed when I was making my my little cucumber little sabra hummus things, I'd have to put paprika on the top, and lots of times there's ingredients that once you put it on the item, it's really hard to take off if you have to reshoot it or do a close-up. How do you work around those things?
You're prepared. That's that kind of prepared thing with having several things back up. I did a TV commercial for online dating, and I had to have chocolate cake, a bite of chocolate cake 9 times. So they had all these cakes lined up, which I thought was great initially. But after about the 4th one, no, you have to be prepared and know that you can do these cutaways. And you can certainly remember you're not eating the food that you're actually making on the video for that day. So I've actually, when you talk about the cucumber boats and putting stuff in it, I've gone to the sink, washed off that cucumber boat, and then just refilled it, which you wouldn't do in your own kitchen, but you can for video.
Is there an eloquent way to like take a bite out of something? I always feel like I would never want somebody to be watching me while I'm like chowing down on something. But you know, if you're a giada or something, it always looks so perfect.
Really try and this. I'm not going to go there because I was going to say something that probably won't sound right. Just be very.
Why stop now?
Just be very small with your movements.
Like this.
Nibble. Do not attack.
Small with your movements, okay.
Nobody needs this.
You like a little piece of cake.
Nobody needs Jurassic Park, you know.
And you don't actually have to eat it or drink it on the video. You can pretend like you're getting ready to and then go to your clothes as well, especially if it's something sloppy. There's nothing, you don't want to be taking big bites of pizza where it's dripping down your face or something like that. I know we did a peanut butter pie with tofu segment recently with Karen Calabrese, and it was great, but I knew that was going to like go all over the place. You just don't eat it at that point.
Okay, I have a question about wait, what is my question? Wait.
Hello, McAllen. Hello.
I was like, I should butt in before anyone talks, but then my question is when you're asked to, because my dream has always been to like be on the Martha Stewart show and be like, have Martha go, Babette, show me how to make those cookies that you make so great, like something really awesome. What is that experience like from top to bottom? So like, can you tell us when the call comes in to how long you have to prepare to actually getting to the studio to cooking, and what's that experience like from somebody who's like been there? Because then I will live vicariously through you for a few minutes and fantasize that I'm at the Martha Stewart show.
I haven't done Martha Stewart show, but I've done Martha Stewart radio. I have sometimes you get like a lot of notice. Like with today's show, you'll get like a week to 10 days. I just recently did Steve Harvey's show in December, and I got a call on Monday night. You're there Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. We need a health and fitness expert. You're going to have this guy lose 60 pounds. 2 guys lose 60 pounds, which they did, by the way. Big Texas Heat. Woo woo. Remember, a lot of the times you're giving the pitch, so they don't just call you out of the blue and say, we want you on. You have either a publicist or yourself reach out, which we'll jump in real quick to that Oprah story. Be aware of who you want to be on and who you want to work with. For me, when I really wanted to get on a great website, and who else is better than Oprah? So Robert Tursek was named the new digital media president in the Wall Street Journal. So I picked up the phone, I live in Chicago, and cold called Oprah.com and called Robert Tursek. You can find stuff online very easily. You can find phone numbers, and if you look up other producers' names, you can say, this person told me I should talk to that person, which I did, and I ended up getting a meeting with Robert Tursek at the time. The good news, bad news is he wanted to meet me on a Tuesday, and this was on a Wednesday afternoon next week. Cool, except it was at 8700 Wilshire Boulevard, and I live in Chicago. So I just graciously said, great, I'll be there. I took a red-eye flight out of Chicago, paid for a flight to LA, waited almost 30 minutes before I got to talk with him on a walk and talk, and thankfully he had some IT Banter syndrome and some knee problems, and 3 months later I was writing for Oprah.com. So don't be afraid to reach out to the people. The same thing with Andy Cohen, and I'll tell you the power of social media. I have a great idea for a TV show. It's called Cougars Across America, women in their 40s empowering, not just like the ditzy things that happen in the bars at night that you see on the housewife shows, but I thought I really want to like highlight what you could be doing in your 40s that's amazing. So I had his email, and I had 30 Rock, and I kept calling and emailing and leaving a message, but I tweeted him twice, and Andy Cohen replied, and I actually got in front of them and was able to present it. So reach out there. Don't be afraid. I mean, here you have Babette on BakeSpace. She's your liaison to getting a cookbook published and being online. So reach out.
When can I DVR that show? I'm all about the Cougars in America.
We don't have that online yet. Midlife Matters is probably a better title. People get a little nervous with that other piece. Cougars still has kind of a floozy connotation, even though I want it to be, forceful and empowering. The rest of America isn't quite ready for the cougars that are really there. They want to still feel better about themselves and make them idiots. So.
Hey, speaking of cougars, maybe I don't know. I don't know how old she is. And it's a husband and wife team. Luna Home Team. I thought that'd be a funny introduction. Made it to the show. Was running late and was like, phew. I just made it with 12 minutes left to go, so that's very cool.
Speaking of cougars.
Yeah, I hope that's a compliment. And Sandy McKenna is on saying, learning how to avoid mistakes.
She's a cougar. I know that for a fact. I know
she is a cougar. You're right.
She's like,
She's checking it out. Cake Walker is still with us. Our whole team is still here. Dessert Chick is like standing by drinking
cougar.
and like. No, I think she's the younger. She's like
cougar
she's
in the
like
making.
She's like
Puma?
24.
No, the Pumas are older. I'm sorry. Cougar.
Jaguar?
Cup. I don't know. I don't know my cats. Come on. I'm a dog guy.
You're married. You should know this stuff.
Exactly.
I think Puma works.
Oh my God. Speaking of, Jeff has the most beautiful wife ever in the history of the earth. I'm on tape.
She's a cougar. She's a total cougar.
That's one of those things. Remember last week where I'm like, I want to go on record saying this? Those are one of those things.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll be sure to pass it along.
Okay, so let's talk. We digressed a little bit off on the Oprah show. So
I'll probably mess it up though. I'll probably call her the John Cougar.
Oh, we are not going to take that unless she's your cherry bomb.
Wow. Okay. Good times.
That's Cougar. Isn't that Cougar Mellencamp? I thought it was his song.
That's nice.
Something like that.
So, Andrea, when you actually go to shoot the stuff, what's that experience like? Like when you come into the I know that you said it's a variety of a day to 12 hours to a week. What happens when you show up that morning? Are you like, do they just expect that you know what you're doing?
Well, I think if you don't know what you're doing, just fake it until you make it. That's probably the best advice I can give you. Perception is reality. So just be confident. You're there because you deserve to be there. Go through makeup. Just be nice to everybody, and you'll find out that they're even nicer back. If you're just really shy and you don't say anything, they're gonna think there's something wrong with you. So just be real confident. Get your makeup done. Get your hair done. Be ready to go on set. No matter what, just keep going. Even if you think you've made a mistake, you can laugh at yourself while you're on live TV. Just keep going. I remember one of my segments, and it was with Giada, actually, which is very weird because she is a food person. I was doing fitness with her on the Plaza Today show. And her question was, medicine ball? Well, why do they call it a medicine ball? And my response was, I don't know, but let me show you what to do with it. So if they sidetrack you, just go with what you know you're supposed to be talking about.
Why do they call it medicine ball?
Because exercise is good medicine.
Ah, I like that.
I don't know. I still don't have an answer.
Bon Jovi said your love is like bad medicine, but that's not anywhere related.
So we only have a couple minutes left, so I want to make sure that the folks at home are getting all their answers, all their questions answered. So if you guys have any questions at home, please leave it on Twitter. Use the Kitchen Party hashtag. Everyone, I think right now, I'm looking down the list, and everyone is kind of absorbing and retweeting everything you're saying. So I think a lot of them, when they go back and actually look at everyone else's tweets and follow the hashtag, they may have some more questions. But I don't know if you just saw my cat's tail.
Yes, I did.
I'm just going to keep going. What advice do you have for people who are just thinking about doing this? Like they've been dreaming of this, they've been wanting to do videos. Any advice on like where they should start?
Well, you've got to start by just doing it. So come up with 2 or 3 or 4 segments and start taping. The iPad and the iPhone or smartphones they're amazing quality right now. You see them even like at the NCAA's. You saw the people using their iPhone to get sound bites. That's how good it is. They're using it on national television. So just do it. Make some plans. Know what you want to write about. Know what you want to tape about then as well, and get it up there on YouTube. I have so many people. I'm like, do you have a blog yet? No, but I really want to. Don't wait. You can do it. It doesn't take that much time to get started, and if you really love this, you've got to find a way to let this outlet open. I mean, you gotta live your dreams. We're only here a short time, a long time dead. So, cheers to making your dreams come true. Make them happen.
Cheers.
Are there video resources? Are there video resources that you can suggest for people, either maybe a particular blog or somebody to follow, or books?
You know, I always have used people who are doing it right. Send them a tweet, send them an email, because they are more than willing to help. I'm willing to help too. I mean, tweet me or DM me or email me, and I'll give you anything that I can help you out with, from contacts to how to get started. But look for the people that you admire and write to them. Again, you have to know what direction you want to go to, who do you want to work with, and then just reach out to those people. They are there to help you.
So I do have one question, but I also want to say, in YouTube, Joy Harris has tuned in and says, "Kitchen Party is so much fun. Glad I discovered it." Thank you, Jeff, for your tweet. Woo! So Joy Harris, this is for you.
Cougar related, or?
This is for you, Joy.
This is Cougar related.
Yay, thank you.
By the way, Joy Harris, Cougar.
Is that a Tampa friend, or is that like just an internet friend?
They're just. I don't classify my friends. They're just friends.
Yeah, but I'm
Okay?
partial to Tampa people.
I'm telling you, we got a good Tampa crew that watches Kitchen Party. I'm very proud of them. They represent well.
They
Oh,
represent. Tampa does represent.
I feel like we should do 2 tech munches, Tampa and Miami. We should do a mini munch at Tampa if we do
I don't
Miami.
even know what that is.
Munch.
Well, it's like just a party. It's like Kitchen Party, but with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, you know, it's there is something called the Tamiami Trail. Maybe we can meet there. So it's the old Tampa Miami Highway. Digression. This is good.
Are there alligators there? That would seem like there might be.
There are alligators everywhere.
Eat it.
Any body of water. Expect that there's a snake. Expect that there's an alligator.
Ooh.
Why is that a place to live?
Why do you live where earthquakes are? I don't know.
But I wouldn't be like every building I go across there's an earthquake there.
You know why? Because it's 85 degrees in February. That's why.
In LA, it's the same.
Babette, don't tell them that. You don't want them to move out here. Stop. The traffic will get worse.
This is
very
true.
So, Andrea, you know, lots of folks are getting ready to start doing stuff. Have you noticed that Google Plus, has that helped people? Because there's like a lot of people doing cooking shows, and is that fun because you can have people like tune in and be part of your show? Are you curious about how the technology is changing the content?
Well, I will say that I love how the Hangouts have all the effects from the applause in the audience, even if you don't have one.
So I gotta do
to be able to have a professional lower thirds. So I really think that Google Hangouts is a great way not only to get your content out. Yeah. Oh, see, they're all happy we came.
Oh, please, enough.
Rene, we like you. We really like you.
I hope the people at home can hear this.
Oh yeah. No, but I like the way the quality has changed, and it's easy. Oh, there you are with glasses on. That's a Chicago thing. You were like Harry Carey. Holy cow.
Chicago is so amazing because there's so many great shows that are produced out of Chicago, and like Oprah made it like this is the place to be. Are you noticing that Chicago is going through any sort of renaissance in the digital world, or are they still like television is the place to be?
Well, I know that Tech Munch is eventually going to come to Chicago. You keep telling me, and so
let's make it happen.
Once that happens, then we will be the digital universe like LA and everywhere else.
Okay, I feel like we should just end there because I can't even say anything past that to be more awesome than that. So just before we close, because it's 6 o'clock and our show goes from 5 to 6 p.m. Is there anything you'd like to add, or is there anything, any words of wisdom or inspiration for the folks who are watching at home? And Jeff and Rene, obviously, you guys chime in, and if there's anything you guys have any questions you guys have, of course.
Just how can we find you?
I'm not lost, but I am on Twitter at Andrea Metcalf. And I do want to tell you guys, too, please, if you have a great blog, sign up at womensforum.com. We are giving away $10,000 in a year contract. And we do 40 million unique viewers per month. So if your blog is good, you're going to make money with us. That's more importantly. So sign up at womensforum.com. Find out information there to be an expert blogger. And I'll come to your city and tape you doing your food videos so that you can be a food video superstar.
Oh, that's cool. And for those of you who are watching at home, Andrea has a cookbook in the Cookbook Cafe platform. If you go to iTunes and download Cookbook Cafe for the iPad, what is it? Is it Naked Fitness? They can just type in the word naked?
They can type in naked and they'll find me.
Exactly. Or you can go on BakeSpace.com and go into our search, our cookbook store, and type in the word naked. I feel so weird saying that. It's so like not food friendly, but I love the concept where it's like you should feel good naked.
It's strip away the excuses, feel good in your own skin. I know, but you know it's great marketing, and you have to use marketing to your advantage. Everyone loves naked.
I'm changing my name to newjeffhouck.com. So.
You know, I just realized what I was going to ask you. Who's doing it right? Who's doing this? Like, obviously you're doing it right, but anyone else that is an inspiration, or you think that's very cool, or that is doing cool food videos?
Chef Andre, I love. He's with Kathleen Ireland's group. He's my bro. He's out of L.A. Of course, Food Video Network. They're awesome. There's not a bad person on there. I love the Worst Cooks in America show right now. They're hysterical, and you know certainly people can apply to that. And BakeSpace has provided the cookbook opportunity on BakeSpace is second to none, because I love. And if you haven't watched the video yet, click on the video for it. Because I showed it to about 6 interns just the other day when I was trying to explain what I was doing and who I was being with and the rock stars that you guys are. And all of them are now signing up to do their own cookbooks for college students. So I think it's pretty amazing.
I gotta get Jeff to do a cookbook. Jeff, where's your cookbook?
We're going to ask you that every week.
That sounds very accusatory, and I don't think I will be pressured into a cookbook. Thank you very much. No, I do need to do one.
Everyone who's watching this, tweet to Jeff and say, where's your cookbook? Where is your Cookbook Cafe cookbook? And then every week we're gonna remind you, and one of these days you're gonna produce it, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, he did. We have nothing to talk about. My
cookbook's gonna be called "Shut the Hell Up, Babette."
Wait, what was your cookbook idea before?
I'm not gonna share it. Someone's gonna take it.
No. You had a great. You said it on the show.
I will go back and watch. See, that's how you promote people to go look at other content.
Everyone, go back. And the first person who goes back to the show and finds out what Jeff's cookbook was called will get. What will they get, Jeff? Nothing. Something from that. Something you own.
Okay, I will give them a personal possession.
Give them one of your mason jar champagne glasses. Send them one of those.
It's possible. You never know what I'm going to send you.
You know what?
Might be a dog. Might be, I don't know.
We need to put together some champagne, some mason jar glasses, and brand them for Kitchen Party and sell them.
Drink champagne.
It's no longer just Pinterest.
Moe champagne.
All right, guys. If you have any questions, obviously this is just the beginning of the conversation. You can send us questions on Twitter using the Kitchen Party hashtag. Go to our Google Plus page, which is BakeSpace.com. And also every Thursday we are here. So if you're around and you want to hang out and you want to be with friends, join us. And then also we archive all of these on YouTube. Our username is BakeSpace TV. Watch it, subscribe, and be part of the Kitchen Party. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Yay. Goodbye, Renee. Bye, goodbye, Jeff. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Right. Bye. Okay, is this the time to dance now?
We gotta get a rhythm down.
That's not ask too much. By the way, you misspelled my name again.
What? No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Melody.